great having the fans for this time be behind me and cheering me on. But it wasn't like that in the first Spider-Man movies I made, but it was like that here, and it was refreshing.
Doctor Strange, you are.
Hi Sam, it's really nice to meet you. Michael from 2002, just can't believe I'm talking to you.
Cool. Nice to talk to you, pal.
Thanks. Sam, I was working on this movie because you had a big challenge to set the foundations for the MCU multiverse. You may have worked on the foundations for the next 10 years of the MCU.
It was really very creatively satisfying and a lot of fun to work on this picture. I was surrounded with great professionals, both at Marvel, and that really is important when you make a movie of different universes. You've got to design those universes. They just don't exist already. So what does universe number 2 look like? What does it sound like and feel like? What colors are you using? How will it be photographed? These are all team decisions that I couldn't have made on my own, and fortunately I was surrounded with a great team of creative professionals to help me make them.
Anything that happens on this movie will have a big impact on the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was easy to work thinking about that?
Yes, you're exactly right. This is like movie number 28 of the Marvel movies, and a lot of story elements came into it from the original Doctor Strange, or from the Avengers movies, what Thanos had done, or from WandaVision. Many sources led into this story. So it wasn't just a Doctor Strange sequel. So what was it like? It was like coming in to a bridge construction as a architect, and someone saying, well, they built the first 3 miles of the bridge. Now, Sam, you've got to build mile 4, and then somewhere down the line, someone's going to pick up mile 5, 6, and 7. And there's a lot of cars going to be on this bridge, and they're all counting on you. So it was a lot of responsibility, but a lot of things pointed me along the right direction also because of that. And it was great having the fans for this time be behind me and cheering me on. But it wasn't like that in the first Spider-Man movies I made, but it was like that here, and it was refreshing.
I imagine you have been watching all the movies from the MCU. When did you realize that this movie will be as big one as it is now?
Late in the process. It really was a Doctor Strange film, but it started to take on more elements of the MCU as it went on, and became a more pivotal linking piece in the MCU universe. And I was thrilled about that, and I tried to handle that responsibility as properly as possible.
It was easy to work on this movie while Benedict Cumberbatch was working on Spider-Man No Way Home at the same time.
I mean, they were shooting simultaneously with us. So one thing that was hard was we had to give them Benedict Cumberbatch for a period of a few days here, a few days there to do his parts, and we had to schedule around him. That's the only reason I know that it would be harder because of No Way Home. But I think No Way Home was such an emotional and wonderful experience for the audience that it really stoked a lot of interest in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So I'm only thankful to the filmmakers in the film for that.
For this movie, you have many elements. You have WandaVision, you have Doctor Strange, you have new characters. Which of these elements was the most difficult to work on?
I think the most difficult thing was just that the COVID virus was kept stopping the production, and we'd get some momentum going, and then suddenly no one was working again. Then we'd get some momentum going, and it was shut down again. So I think that stop and start was probably the hardest obstacle we faced in making Doctor Strange. But it was actually was not a difficult movie for me to make because the characters really knew who they were. Wanda, the character, of Wanda, played by Elizabeth Olsen, was very well developed by her. both over the Marvel movies and her show WandaVision. And she came to the set knowing exactly who she was. And same with Benedict Cumberbatch. He had his own movie and all those Marvel movies to figure out his role. So that when these characters entered the multiverse and faced alternate versions of themselves, a lot of the work was done for me. And I could concentrate on those new interactions, tweaking their already developed personalities a tiny bit, bringing out a good aspect of them to present them with themselves, their alternate self, or maybe amplifying a little bit of a darker quality that they had developed earlier, so that they might see what they could become had they made some worse decisions in life. And that was really interesting and fun for me. And I was supported by these great actors all the way.
Talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, how was for you to see Tobey Maguire wearing the Spider-Man suit again? It was for you on Spider-Man 3.5, maybe?
I didn't think it was Spider-Man 2.5. I just thought it was a wonderful celebration of all the Spider-Man movies that had ever been. And it was very emotional for me to see those villains and heroes again interacting on the screen. It was a lot of fun, and I have not only the same reaction as the audience, happy to see them again, but I have a personal connection to those actors, and so it was a doubly wonderful experience for me.
Thank you for giving us this big movie.
Thanks a lot. Nice to meet you. Thanks for that.